Hey guys, always Tiger checking in. Now, I really want to discuss the grooming scandal that is currently within the British media due to Elon Musk using his Twitter fingers. We have all the players here being Keir Starmer, Kemi Badenoch, other faces, and Elon Musk. So, just to give some background, there are several towns within Britain that almost hosted and allowed these grooming gangs to operate for a significant period of time, abusing many young girls. So I understand the need for an inquiry, but I do feel that these situations are not clear cut, and I think they do want a finger to point at to say, this is all on you, this is your issue. But due to the scale of this issue, the scale of this scandal, we have multiple organizations involved, i.e., the police, social services, youth workers, the local government, and the leading government. I'm unsure whether an inquiry for 6 to 12 weeks would have the sufficient detail to really delve into these failings. There is red tape, limited guidelines, insufficient powers, and the guidance isn't there. So I do want to stress that yes, an inquiry is needed, but will it bring the public on side to understand that this is something that's unprecedented? It's not a single issue, it's a series of issues within multiple organizations. And I really want to stress that it's horrendous what happened. But if we are looking to point fingers, I don't think we will get that from this inquiry. We will more also get the understanding of the processes which were followed and the limitations in which these organizations operate. And I don't think that's anybody's fault. I think if you're a social worker, you can only do so much with a vulnerable young person with coercive behavior that is being manipulated by these older men. With the police, for example, they definitely have red tape. And for example, if someone is older than, let's say, 16, their hands are tied. It's very difficult. I don't see the benefits right now of an inquiry. But what I can see is a look back and learn, for example, to be able to learn from mistakes, i.e., social services don't have the sufficient powers to work with the police or, for example, the National Crime Agency to really delve into these individuals. So, for example, if a policeman picks up on an individual with someone of no relation to them who's younger than them and of the opposite sex, that should be flagged. That person should then be brought into a system that shows that there is some grey area and perhaps they need to be monitored in some instance. That kind of multidisciplinary cross organization efficiencies would support any growth in these organizations. And I think right now, in the current state of things, I don't think these organizations have the capacity for that. I think they need several consultants or consultancies to be able to look into the current standing guidelines, frameworks, powers to really understand how can we improve them so that these things can be rooted out before they even begin. So it's a tough decision for the Prime Minister, and I think in Prime Minister's questions he's ruled out an inquiry, and I think that may be the right thing to do because I think this may be an internal investigation into these organisations rather than a public point the finger at, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, why did you do this? Because you'll have a lot of people or personnel within those organizations in the workforce who says they simply don't have the control or they're following their superiors' guidance, and they also have limited powers within their organization. So it's not going to give us the results that we want. And I do think if we are to stop anything like this from happening again, we really need the leading government to lead the local government and give them all necessary resources, staff, to be able to manage these vulnerable young girls. And the police also need to be looking out for these predators prior to them committing any offence. So I do feel that, yes, Elon has struck on a nerve that the British public are very unhappy with, and we do feel that there's a strong sense of distrust within the local government to allow something like this to happen and take hold and abuse these young girls, which is terrible. But I don't think the right way would be through an inquiry. I do think it's a personal internal resolution within these organisations